rising interest rate, it has spiked these low interest bearing options to currently right now on $1 million Jamaican. If you fix it for a year, if you want to preserve your principal, don't want to take any risk, you can get up to 8%. Prior to 2022, those low risk option was about 3-4%. Everybody in this room, I urge you, go and open a stock account. If you want to buy stock, you have to register to one of the stock brokerage firms in Jamaica, and Barita is one.
What is the difference between using a Barita Investment or a Sagicor?
Hello, my name is Winthrop Wellington, and this is a clip from my annual Jamaica Investment Conference, ThropX 2022. On this panel is Patrice Minott and c.clarke from Barita Investments, and host Amashika Lorne does a masterful job in asking applicable real-world questions about the Jamaica financial sector. Both Patrice and Craig really hit the nail on the head in breaking down the process of investing in the Jamaica Stock Exchange, whether you're here in Jamaica or somewhere abroad. They go into how investing and trading works in Jamaica, as well as dividend reinvestment strategy and also IPOs. If you are even remotely interested in investing in Jamaica and the Jamaica Stock Exchange, this is definitely the video for you. If you are a seasoned investor, or even if you haven't invested in anything at all, this is a video that really touches on a wide spectrum of different topics in the financial sector, going from the breakdown of the difference between a savings account and an investment account, all the way to, as mentioned before, both IPOs and dividend reinvestment strategies. So I definitely encourage you to get out that pen and pad, take some notes, and if you have even further questions after this video, the contact information from the representatives of Barita are down in the description below. So without further ado, please enjoy this very informative financial discussion from ThropX 2022.
Okay, so yesterday we had Sagicor, we also had a rep from NCB, and we predominantly know them as banks. But Barita is Barita Investments. So tell me, what's so special about Barita Investments Limited? Patrice?
Okay. I'll take that. Is it low? Can you hear? Okay. Well, okay. So, Barita, you did mention we are celebrating our 45th anniversary. So what's special about Barita? We basically have been in the business for years. We're actually one of the oldest stock brokerage firms here in Jamaica. We offer several different investment options, right? You have access to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And coming from Noel, he just, stormed the room as it relates to real estate, right? So one of our flagship product right now, or the product that is pretty much doing the thing right now, is our real estate portfolio, right? So Noel spoke about, diversifying and getting into real estate. But if you are not able to say, okay, then upfront right now and buy a property for X amount of dollars, we have been investing in several properties around Jamaica, St. Anne, St. Mary, and you can buy into that product and basically still benefit from the real estate market doing exceptionally well. So I'm going to start with that since we're coming off the eye from Noel. We do have the real estate product. I'm going to go into IPOs, which I'm certain most of you would have some information on. So I'm going to have Craig maybe just, tell us some more about Barita, the products that we're offering, and how you get started.
All right. Craig?
All right, thanks, Patrice. So we have different type of products. Let me touch on how we get started first, which is simple, so we won't spend a lot of time on that. So your ID, your tax equivalent, whether your TRN or your social security number, a recent proof of address like an energy bill, a credit card statement, source of income, like last 3 pay slips or your tax returns. So that's pretty much it. We ask you for 2 references, just name and number, nothing written. Doctors, lawyers, pastors, GP, current employers, existing clients. So it's a pretty simple list. Most of us have those stuff at our disposal walking around with.
Is there a minimum balance? Because I know there's another institution and the talk of the town is, you need $1 million to even start that account. Is there a minimum balance for Barita?
All right, awesome question. So we have different type of products The idea is that we want to meet with each person individually, figure out exactly where they are, where they want to go, and how to get there. But the short answer is that we have products starting at 5,000 Jamaican, 10,000 Jamaican, 25,000 Jamaican. There are some per million, 10 million, but it depends on what comes from that conversation and the needs of that specific individual.
All right. Now, in terms of like fixed income and fund management, that's two of the things that you also specialize in. Tell me a little bit about that.
All right, so fixed income basically, with investing, right, you want to diversify. So let me just kind of give you just an understanding the difference between investing and savings, right? You save, you gradually put aside money, for emergency or anything that may come up. With investing, it is a wealth creation tool, right? So you're starting something now for future growth, right? We have fixed income. We have different fixed income options. We have bonds. We have what we call our retail repurchase agreement. So most of you might be familiar with, say, a CD or a fixed deposit, right? Mm-hmm. That's where you put down a fixed amount at a fixed period for a fixed rate. Now, with the rising interest rates, those low-risk options and risk in investment is really the fluctuations with your principal. So Craig mentioned, having a sit-down, understanding your need, and pretty much matching the solution towards the need that you have, right? So with the rising interest rate, it has spiked these low interest bearing options to currently right now on $1 million Jamaican. If you fix it for a year, if you want to preserve your principal, don't want to take any risk, you can get up to 8%. Now, prior to 2022, those low-risk option was about 3-4%. Now, the reality is, as soon as we can control inflation, those rates will go down. So what that means, you need to take advantage now. Money sitting down in your savings account, and your current account is really not doing anything for you. And the reality is, if you want to achieve that financial freedom and start to create that generational wealth, you need to start investing, right? So fixed income options are there. We have unit trusts, we have stocks, and of course, I'm going to tell you a little more about stocks, but essentially, you just need to ask yourself 3 questions when you're investing, right? Mm-hmm. What is your goal? And it's not just, you want money to work. Of course, you want your money to give you a profit, right? But what is your specific goal? Is it that, okay, in another 3 years, I want to buy a property? Yeah, you want to buy a property here in Jamaica. I think we have our real estate rule in the house, but you're going to need closing costs. You're going to need that deposit. Your outlook is now 3 years. So your specific goal is that within another 3 years, I want to buy a property. Mm-hmm. How do I use investment to help me make up my deposit and cover my closing costs? We look at options that can help you. So the first thing, your specific goal. Mm-hmm. The second thing is how much do you have currently right now that you can safely put aside to invest that you're not going to need at least within another 12-month period. And the third question that you're going to ask yourself is, what is my outlook? The example, 3 years. You could have an outlook of 5 years. You could have an outlook of more than 5 years. Once you ask yourself those 3 questions, we, the expert, will guide you in terms of which product would be more suitable to get you to the goal that you want to achieve.
All right, and a little bit on the fund management side.
Okay, so on the fund management side, for unit trusts, right? Not sure how many persons are familiar with unit trusts, but they're pretty much pooled funds. They are pooled funds managed by an expert fund manager who have been doing this for years, professional certification. We have proven how these funds have performed. So you might not, say for example, you're very busy, right? You're not expert and you leave it up to us, right? You don't have time to watch the market. What should I buy? What should I sell? What should I invest in? Right, so we have several different unit trust products that you basically will invest your fund into it. A fund manager manage it with the aim of growing your money year over year. So 2 examples is what we have, our capital growth fund. It's an equity-based unit trust fund. And equity is stocks, shares, right? That fund has been in existence about 1993, 30 years ago, right? 30 years ago, for you to buy into that fund, it was $1 per share. Now, say for example, you had 100,000 in 1993. Yeah, that was a lot of money, right? But persons had it. Today's date, that fund is selling for $94. So if you had 100,000 then, 30 years ago, you have 100,000 units. Today's date, that $100,000 is now valued 9.4. And that is how investment works. It's not going in today to say in the next 3 months your money flip. While persons have capitalized on short-term gains, it's not always the case, right? So you want to be diversified. Get your unit trust, get your stocks, see if you can buy a property. If you can't buy the property right now, you get into the real estate unit trust. But that's pretty much what fund under management is. We have several different products. Again, depending on your need, then one or two products can be more suitable for you.
In terms of the IPOs, which are some of the type of companies we see trending these days and why?
All right, so what I'm going to say, IPO pretty much, if you're new to investing, is an initial public offering, right? It's when a private company decides that, okay, I'm going to go to the Jamaican public, or not even just Jamaican public, overseas persons can buy into the stock market, right? They decide that, okay, I'm going to offer some of my shares to you, right? Typically, the benefit is that you get to buy in at a low price. You get in at the ground floor, so when that stock advances, you will benefit. Now, list of IPOs, typically we can't really say for sure, because the reality is you do have a few companies, and I would say maybe Caramed, who have, mentioned that they're considering coming to the market with their shares. Until that is a public notice to the Jamaica Stock Exchange or the company itself, we can't say yes, because with an IPO, it's an offer. When you buy into it, you're applying for it. It's not that, okay, I put my $1 million and when it closes, you're going to get my $1 million. No, it is open to the public and the company is offering a set amount to the public, right? So, of course, they want everybody to get a piece of the pie. So depending on how many persons apply, you might only get a portion of what you apply for. But what I will say is that try to remain as liquid as possible. Because when that option comes up, you can readily jump into it. And going back to say, it's not guaranteed. If you apply for 1 million units, you might not get it. But what you want to keep in mind that, okay, when it lists to the market, I'm going to buy it from the market. Because in another 3 or 4 months or 12 months, you could triple what you have.
So don't wait until the actual announcement is made. Set up the account before, so that by the time I can call my broker and say, hey, I want to jump on this one and I want $10 million worth, that sort of thing.
Exactly. So if you're considering, it's not if you're considering, everybody in this room, I urge you, go and open a stock account. If you want to buy stock, you have to register to one of the stock brokerage firms in Jamaica, and Barita is one. Open your stock account, get familiar with it. You'll get our newsletter and our weekly stock report so you can see what's going on. And when that IPO comes, you're ready to get into it. Don't wait until it comes, because trust me, typically they open for maybe like 7 days, and you have some that close on the same day, right? So you need to get started and just really think about diversifying and not just think of, oh, investment, I'm not sure about it, or oh, it's only rich people do it. No. Yeah? You want to really diversify and add and take advantage of every opportunity to help you create wealth.
Craig, in terms of dividend payments, what are some of the things we should look out for? Because some people say, why from this stock they seem like they're paying me more often than another one? So break down just the whole topic of dividend payments for me.
All right, thanks. So dividend payments is when the company meets and they make profit and they may decide to pay dividends. So for example, the company makes profit and they have a board meeting and they say, hey, what should we do with the profit that we've made? So one person in the board meeting might say, hey, remember we want to open another branch in Ocho Rios. Another person might say we might need to pay on this specific loan at this bank. Another person might say, hey, the shareholders, because we're all shareholders of the company, have not received any payment in a while, so let us pay them some dividends. So for most companies outside of like the preference shares, dividend payment is not guaranteed. there are some companies that are traditionally dividend-paying stocks. And they know that the moment that they do not pay those dividends, then it will affect the share price because persons would not have a need to no longer hold those shares. So a couple of things we're looking at. Once we meet and we see that we're interested in the dividend-paying stocks, we can provide you a list with the persons that normally pays dividends. We can show you the rate that they normally pay at. But again, it's not a guarantee that it will be paid unless it's one of the preference shares which says that it must be paid.
The team that you have and the type of research that goes into, putting these prospectuses together and sending it out in the newsletter, or rather just analyzing the prospectuses that come in and putting out your newsletter, and reporting to us what is happening on the markets. How do you communicate with shareholders?
Well, as I mentioned before, so we have a robust research team, right? And they're dedicated to really just assess the market and basically see opportunities before it comes to the forefront, right?
Okay.
So they'll do their research and on a weekly basis. We will send out our newsletter along with the stock report. What the newsletter involves is, just what's happening locally, and not just locally, but overseas as well. We provide you with what we call a playbook. So we'll recommend different stocks, the prices, why we recommend that. And we look at our unit trust as well. So we can tell you, yes, the rate is IK. This is going on in the real estate market. How will it affect this particular unit trust? So, it's a lot of information there, but once you sign up for Barita, you'll be getting those. And essentially, you can just look at it. If you're not able to decipher the information, you just reach out to your rep, one of us pretty much, and we'll just guide you. Just to touch a little bit on the dividend payments, I just want to point out that, right, the dividend payments really, as Craig mentioned, is where some of the companies will pay you back a portion of how much you earn pretty much in how much you earn on the stock, right? What I want to make mention of is that, say, for example, you may be banked with Bank A or Bank B, right? And the bank have a lot of fees and all of these stuff, right? So you have persons who say, okay, I'm paying so much fees, but one way of getting back some of your money from that is buying into Bank A and Bank B. You get the dividend. So yes, you're getting your fees taken off, but at least you're getting back a portion of it in what we call dividend payment. Similar to Grace Kennedy. Grace Kennedy is one of the flagship companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. They have multiple streams of revenue, so you want to look to a company like that. If you're buying Grace product, you need to be investing in Grace. So they pay periodic dividends, and of course, you're spending money in the supermarket. Anybody go to the supermarket, that's much money you spend, right? Especially if you're buying a lot of Grace products. So go and invest into Grace so you get back a portion of their profit.
There's a question that's coming in. You know the rule. There's a mic. And while he makes his way around, I will ask, so do you have an app? Do you have a special portal?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have an app right now as yet, but we do have the Barita online. For your unit trust products, you get a monthly statement every first of the month, so you automatically see how your unit trust fund is performing. You have the Barita online. It's a viewing platform. You can log in at any point in time to see what's going on with your funds. Plus, you have your investment advisor at your disposal. So any news come up, call Patrice, what's going on? Craig, what's going on? We're readily available to guide you and really kind of break down that information.
Right.
All right.
I live in New York, and I think someone from this Jamaica Stock Exchange came over and was. Say it again? That was in Queens. That was in Queens in Jamaica Avenue. And I think they were successful because there was a long line of people waiting to invest in the Jamaican Stock Exchange. So I was one of them. I was early, so I was at the front of the line. So I signed up, bought a couple of stocks. Now they're sending me a check, or I'm not sure, periodically. I don't know if it's every 6 months, every year, or whatever. I don't know about you guys.
That's your dividend.
That's my dividend check.
Yes.
But the thing is, that dividend check, I cannot negotiate. I can't cash it. So I'm just wondering if you guys have a dividend reinvestment program, right? I do own stocks in the US, and I basically just look at the statement every once in a while, or if I want to do a trade, because the dividends that I get is reinvested in the account. It stays there. It stays there as cash. If I want to buy more stocks, yes, I could. But why, why don't they? I mean, why they should realize that this address is not in Jamaica, and sending a check to the U.S. really doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Because right now, I think I have those checks. I totally forget to bring it to me, so now I have to wait another year, and it's expired. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there should be a box that you tick and said, okay, you want that check to be reinvested. Okay, so I don't know. Can that be arranged?
Yes,
Because-
most
all right.
definitely. And thank you for that question.
All right.
I mean, prior to, I think the JSC had sent out a notification,
Right.
maybe in about 2021, early
Okay.
2021, that they are encouraging persons to sign up what they have a dividend mandate form. So
Okay.
it allows your dividend payments to go straight to your bank account electronically. So you can send it to your commercial bank, or you can send it to your brokerage firm. And
Right.
we all know that, some of these dividend payments are small. But what you need to do now is to build on your units. The more units you have, the greater the value of the check is.
Okay.
So you can have it sent to your broker, and as it builds up, you can reinvest it.
Right.
So we definitely need to have a discussion after, find out what broker you have, and you reach out directly to the broker
Okay.
and have that mandate signed. So you
My
don't
account
get the
is with
point.
Barita, so maybe I can speak to you guys.
Yes,
after.
right
So I don't have
after.
to go to.
So
Right.
Patrice will sort that out for you.
And I have a follow-up question, if I may, right?
Before you get to the follow-up,
Sure.
there was actually a two-part question just now. So
Okay.
your dividend check is still dated because the time elapsed.
It's still dated
Right.
because
So
I
you,
don't, okay,
you can
go ahead.
actually still receive the funds. It just means that we'd have to go through the process, contact the registrar and say, hey, I was not able to encash my check, or I did not receive it, so
Right.
please issue it to me. So there still
Right.
is a process for you to collect that.
Well, the first check, this is what they did. The second check, I just say, but I still have it home. I totally forget to bring it.
You can still get
Alright, but
the
it is
funds.
still dated.
So he has to do that before he comes to his rep?
No, so the rep can actually
You can do
facilitate
everything
both.
in one.
So
Go through the
starting-
process of reissuing it
I hear
and
you.
reissuing it straight to an account based on the mandate. So we'll definitely have a discussion to see how we can move forward with that.
Okay, okay.
So what's your
Now, the
next-
second question is, when are you guys going to set up a platform where you can electronically trade stocks? Like right now I have a U.S. account, right? I have a U.S. broker account. I can just go online. I can buy and sell as I choose. And another thing, the fees, they used to have a fee, which is a minimal amount, right? I understand the fees are pretty large when it comes to Jamaica Stock Exchange. But are there any plans to set up an online trading platform where someone from anywhere, you can get on that online platform and trade? Or do you have to always contact a broker? You see, the thing is if you're appealing to the diaspora, they would want to find a way to invest without making a phone call or sending an email. Do you have any plans for that? Okay, that's my next question. All right.
All right, so thank you so much for that question. So we don't currently have our own platform to facilitate trading. However, we utilize a JSC platform, which is JTrader Pro. So there are two ways of trading, basically. You send your email request to your broker, send it to us, we'll put it on for you. It has a 2% commission fee. With JTrader, you can actually...
Could I just ask you a question
Sure.
right there? You said a 2% commission fee. What's that 2%? What is it based on? Is it based on the amount of the trade, or is it based on, what is it based on?
It's based on the value of the trade, so the dollar value of the trade, whether you're buying and selling. But
That's a very large amount.
Exactly.
It is, because if you're trading millions of dollars, right? And you see, if you're in the diaspora, millions of dollars, I don't want to be sound like we are different. But $1 million don't mean a lot. It doesn't mean that it's not a lot of money to the diasporians, right? And if you take 2% of millions of dollars, that's a lot of money.
Exactly,
Compared to if you're trading on a US platform, I remember it was something like $8 per trade about 3 years ago. But no, it's down to 0, right? So 2% is a lot.
It's
right?
a lot. That's why we have referred and we have transitioned clients to JTrader Pro. It's 0.75% and you have it at your own convenience being overseas to trade. Right. So typically, brokers in Jamaica, the online trading fees range from 0.5 to 0.75%. And we have transitioned a lot of clients there. And it doesn't stop us from still giving you the guidance with what stock to buy. So we can definitely set that up for you so you can utilize JTrader to do your online trading. Okay. You're saving from that 2% and you can literally go in and put on your trade right away.
Okay.
Right? You'll be able to see a queue. So, for example, you're buying Barita and you look in the queue, you can see how many persons are looking to sell. Okay. And you can actually say, okay, then this person is selling at $90. Let me put in $90 my limit price and bam, you get it same time. Gotcha. So we'll definitely transition you to JTrader.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Awesome. Additional?
I think you answered my question when I was standing there. but still, I bought some shares in Jamaica Broilers and Scotia Investment, but it was about 22 years ago. So it was through Deering, Golding, and Button. I don't know if you heard of it. Yeah. So they were acquired by, I think, Scotia Invest. Scotia?
Or Proof.
Scotia.
Yeah, I used to get dividend check just like him, but then they just stopped 20-something years ago. So I'm trying to figure out And I know the money is still there because I went to Scotia to find out. I still have my receipts. And they say, well, it's there, but in order for me to, I don't think it's managed anymore because Deering, Golding, and Button used to manage it. So since they acquired, I don't think it's managed, but it's still there. And it quadrupled. But what I would like to move it somewhere. Is there a fee? And also, can I get you will be able to get my dividend. Yeah, 20 additional dividend. You think that's possible?
So the first part of the question is, you are thinking of moving to another broker that could manage your account a little better. So, right. So each stockholder is assigned a JCSD number. So that is your unique number registered with stock exchange with that broker. So if you wanted to come over to Barita, for example, to help us manage your funds, we could transfer those holdings from that account to our account at Barita and we'll be able to manage that portfolio for you. Again, it's going through the register to see how we can get all of the back payments or lost dividends reissued and applied to your account. Right, so it is possible.
Hi, can you tell us a little more about your real estate portfolio? And is that like a mutual fund?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. So yes, the real estate portfolio is it's a mutual fund. It's a pool unit trust fund. We have revamped that portfolio end of July this year, right? So real estate, as the name suggests, prior to July revamp, it was invested primarily in real estate equities on the market. We have First Rock, Epley, etc. What we've realized is that, COVID has shown us a lot in terms of we need to be diversified, right? So what we've done is to add real assets to this fund using our real estate company, right? And if you know anything about real estate, Noel said it all. The value have appreciated right now, I think a minimum a year, 2 years. So we have purchased several properties, put into that fund, and it will be revalued on an annual basis. So just the revaluation alone of the fund will basically grow your money within a 12-month period, right? So what it is right now, before July 2022, you would have been locked in for 3 years. And you understand real estate, if you're closing a deal, it doesn't happen right away, might have different stuff. So hence, that was the timeline. With this revamp, you're now only locked in for 12 months. So basically what we're saying, if you're buying today, you won't have access to the fund for at least another 12 months, but it doesn't stop the growing from there, right? The minimum is 100 units, which is currently selling at about 5,200. So right now, the minimum to buy in will be 520,000 Jamaican dollars. And since the revamp, we publish our rates in the paper like on a Wednesday and a Friday. So if you happen to see that, you'll see our year-to-date growth like 880%. Now, it won't always report that. It's the revamp that caused the growth. But since the revamp in July, it is returning over 50%. And I can tell you, my occupation is really a financial advisor. I'm not just advising persons to make money, but I'm making money for myself, right? So I can test to it that I have reinvested in the real estate portfolio, and I've seen tremendous growth. I've seen clients have tremendous growth. At the end of the day, you just want to diversify in all the different areas of the economy just to ensure that you're coming out on top. So, yeah.
Any further?
So my question is, you suggested JTrader, I believe, as a platform that you can trade yourself or place trades yourself. Can you trade options? Are there options contracts that you can trade there? I'm not sure if the market or the platform is the same in terms of Forex, futures, and things of that sort.
Well, unfortunately not. That option is not yet available here in Jamaica, but I know the JSC has been doing several work, so it's an option that pretty soon might become available. But currently, it's only stocks.
Just stocks, but not the contract, not the option contracts for stocks.
Not the option contracts at this moment.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes I feel like they have to ask permission.
No, we like that. Okay. We like that attentive student.
The portion that I want to ask about is the dividend payouts, because you said that you have like 3 ways of utilizing the dividends at the end of the year. The person or the board, I assume, can say that they pay the loan or open another account or pay it to the shareholders. Who makes that decision though? And if we're a shareholder of that particular stock, or, are we able to assist in making that decision as far as who gets or what the dividends is paid towards?
All right, so each company would have a board of directors. So they would meet and try to come up with the decisions or table the decisions that they think is in the best interest of the company and its shareholders. There will then be a shareholders meeting where every shareholder has the opportunity to vote on the different actions.
Oh, so they are notified when they're making this decision?
Definitely.
Okay, good. Okay, second question. Is there a threshold? Because I know sometimes you have little scare stories about people that enters into the stock and then they lose all of their money. Is there a threshold that you guys monitor to make sure that the investor or the shareholder don't lose all of their money in any of the stocks that they put themselves into? Risk management, yes.
Risk management, okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that question. I really love that question.
Yeah.
So going back to what I said, with invested, the risk is the fluctuations with your principal. I don't use the word lose. I never use the word lose.
Positive.
With investing, it's important, especially stocks, it is important to spend time in the market and not necessarily time in the market, right? So say, for example, you buy something for $20, right? If another year or 2 years come, if you're ready to sell that stock, if it's at $18, why would you sell? If it's the case that you don't need the money, don't sell. Always buy low and sell at a higher, so you sell it at a profit, It all boils down to what is it that I need this money for? If you don't need it, just wait it down. Because at the end of the day, when something is down, the only way for it to go is to up. It's just no a waiting game. How long? It might be another 6 months. It might be another year. So never in cash lower than what you buy at. You're never losing. Because it's always an unrealized gains or an unrealized loss.
And you always recommend 12 months before you do anything?
A minimum outlook.
Of 12 months.
Yeah, a minimum outlook 12 months. And that 12 months is really assessing your portfolio, right? It's not just about investing and leaving the money there, but different things happen. Things change, market change. You have a new IPO might come to the market. Maybe you need to rebalance. Maybe you need to restructure.
So what if you decide, say, after 12 months, you know, really like the first one that you picked, and you can switch to another one with that money that you use for that first one?
You can. I mean, there are situations where you might buy a stock and, oh my God, you know, COVID come, not much happening for it. But guess what? If I cash out now, I might lose $2,000. But guess what? This new IPO that just come to the market have a great potential. So I can suffer this $2,000 loss, buy into that, and within 3 months I could have $6,000 gain, right? So it's really just looking at it and just going back to the goal that you have. Why are you buying this particular stock? With stocks similar to you, just diversifying into investments and real estate. With stocks, you have to diversify. You don't just get financial stocks. You get one or two financial, you get a manufacturing stock, you get a tourism stock. Because what we know is that when one sector of the economy is not performing, you can benefit from the other one.
Okay. And back to the debate. I'm coming right now. Trust me. Back to the dividends. The meeting at the end of the year, where you get notification, it's like, how long of a notification do you get? So just in case a person like me who's pretty much busy, don't miss that date for the meeting to be a coordinate of where to put the dividends for that thing. Is there?
So typically when they're having shareholder meeting, you get like approximately about a month's notice. For you to put your affairs or decide if you want to send in your vote, because they would have had the actions tabled for you to consider before coming to the meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
And just to add on that, the Jamaica Stock Exchange here in Jamaica, on their website, so you can actually go to their website, go under newsroom and look at bulletins. They publish a weekly bulletin. It have highlights of all the upcoming dividend payments, the date, and the shareholders meeting that Craig mentioned is what they call the annual general meeting, which is the AGM. And it will list the upcoming AGMs for all the listed companies. So you can have an idea when Separate is having a meeting, when Barita is having a meeting, so you can make yourself available if you're a shareholder to go to that AGM and say something, because at the end of the day, once you own shares, you're a minority shareholder, right? So you have a little say, and you can really just follow up and be informed.
Thank you.
Hello. What is the difference between using a Barita investment or a Sagicor?
Oh, or NCB, okay. Okay, so as it relates to stocks, right? It doesn't really matter where you have your brokerage stock account, because it's the same stocks that are traded on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. It goes back to you now, what is convenient for you, what level of service do you want, right? It goes back to you with selecting that. So as it relates to stock, it doesn't matter. And you can have more than one stock account. You don't have to limit yourself to one, right? You can have more than one stock account. What sets us apart now is the other investment options. So I mentioned that we have our unit trust, our real estate fund is doing exceptionally well above all the other brokers. Similar fund, we have the capital growth fund, we have our fixed income options, and we have alternative investment solutions. So I mean, if you go on our website, Barita website, you'll see our VP, you'll see our asset management team, you'll see our VP of alternative investments. So you can look and really understand the different options. So investment doesn't just stop at stocks, right? There are other options that you can diversify into. You're looking to buy a property, I mean, depending on where the property is, you might have 3 months, 90 days. We'll have the money sitting there in an account earning less than 1% for the 90 days. Put it in our retail repo account where you can get up to 7% for the 90 days. So it just goes back to you, convenience, the service level. How do you feel that, or who do you feel that is going to help you to manage your money in the best way possible?
I'm talking dollars.
Dollars.
So if I'm investing with, I have a Sagicor account. So if I'm investing with Sagicor, I'm already have a relationship with them. If let's say I buy gray stock, am I going to get the same percentage, the same interest on a grace than if I did it with Barita? Or what are the difference between the fees? What will cause me to leave my bank that already offers investment
To come.
and come to Barita?
Okay, as it relates to the stocks, you're referring to the other products. The stocks?
Well, stocks.
The stocks? Well, all right. So remember I liked earlier, right? So I think it might only be NCB Proven and JMMB that does their own online platform. Everybody else utilizes the JTrader Pro. So if you're trading on the JTrader Pro, it's the same fees.
Okay.
I think maybe one out of that option is 0.5, but everybody pretty much online is 0.75. So it's the same thing. If you're trading with another broker and it's 0.75, it's the same 0.75 at Barita.
That's if I'm trading for myself. But
That's
what
if you're
doing
trading.
it?
It's the same 2%. So it's straight
Okay,
across
straight
the board.
across.
It's not just limited to
Okay.
Barita. It's not just limited to Barita.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
okay, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. And if there are no further questions, I am just. What is the capital gain tax, he said?
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. And this is an important question, right? So y'all know that money is sitting down in your commercial bank savings account. Once you get interest, the government withholding tax is going to come out of it, right? It's the government, you cannot get away from that. The withholding tax is 25%. With stock invested, you only pay GCT, I think it's about 15%. So you're basically saving right there in terms of paying tax. So the tax on the buying and selling of shares is about 15% GCT. Versus having the money sitting down, you're paying, once you paid interest, 25% of that is taken out as withholding tax. Was that the question? I know.
So he's saying if you have gain, what percentage do you tax on the gain?
So your gain is not taxed, right? The tax is only applicable when you buy and sell shares. So these are just the trading fees, right? So once you sell, the tax portion will come out of it. Now, you selling at a higher price than what you buy it at, that would be your gain. But once you sell it, the 15% is on the market value of it. So you'd have to look at how much you buy the shares at, what you're selling it at, and this is your profit. But once you sell it, the 15% is on the sale value.
So you cannot make a gain and when you're taking out your money is less than what you get.
Not necessarily, because what you're going to do and what we're going to guide you is that you're going to sell it above what you buy it at, taking into consideration the tax portion of it. So you're coming out at profit, right?
All right, and on.
No, so I mean, and that is tricky. Upon opening your brokerage account, what you want to declare is if you're paying tax overseas. As I know, especially for the US, you might be required to disclose your investment outside of the US, right? There is a special arrangement that if you're paying tax overseas, you can be exempted from paying tax here in Jamaica, right? But we'll route that through the JSC and the tax administration, and you'll get the necessary documentations to show that. So there's a process that you can go through to to basically maybe eliminate you from paying tax or paying a reduced tax, depending on what you're paying on your tax overseas.
You just watched a clip from ThropX 2022. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more, click right here or somewhere on the screen. See you in the next one.